Bucking its counterparts in the rest of the world, McDonald's Malaysia is still seeing growth at more than just a healthy clip. However, with the talks of its franchise being sold off, does its future here look uncertain? I asked its MD, Azmir Jaafar. Hi Azmir, thank you so much for joining me in Talking Edge. Now, this is your second stint as McDonald's CEO, since returning to Malaysia from China. What is the strategy that you are outlining for the company?
I'm glad to say that in the last 12 months, since third quarter last year when I came back, we have had a record month after month after month doing business in Malaysia. Our business has been growing double digit, and a lot to do with a few strategies that we work on since last year. Right? One of the strategies is to get back running great restaurants.
Right.
So we are a restaurant business. We don't own any other asset other than the restaurant.
Right.
So running great restaurant means make sure that the restaurant is properly staffed, the restaurant staff are trained, the turnover is controlled and minimized, and the product is high quality, restaurant is safe and clean, and all the amenities are working for our customers.
Let's talk about sales and also growth.
Yeah.
The world is entering the new normal phase, where it's a little bit difficult to find growth, or growth is slowing, but you are seeing double-digit growth. How is this possible for McDonald's, and what is driving this double-digit growth that you are talking about?
Yeah, it's very interesting, right? In an environment today where we've seen some reported public listed companies that are growing single-digit and some are negative margin, but we are growing in the midst of a very difficult environment.
Right.
So like I said just now, we went back to basic, running great restaurants. And second strategy is providing great value to consumers.
Right.
So besides running great restaurant, is providing great value to consumers, both from pricing and experience.
Right.
So when you talk about value, it's about right pricing with a great experience that they get. Right? So we improve restaurant operation, food quality, restaurant cleanliness with a price point that we have today where you can get meals below 8 ringgit, you get meals below 10 ringgit. And compare that on the street, where average lunch is between 10 to 15.
Right.
So price and experience equal great value.
Talking about the market share, it's very interesting. It has grown to about 40 to 42%, currently. But would you be seeing the market share to be plateauing at that level, or is there still room for growth?
I think there's still room for growth. Malaysia economy is growing, income is growing, population is growing. So naturally, demand will grow as well.
Right.
And what we want to do is to make sure that in growing demand, in growing economy, we are growing faster than our competition.
Right.
We are outpacing the industries, or outpacing the country economies, which we did the last 12 months.
Right.
Right? And we know there's no secret formula, there's no secret strategy, but going back to basic, run great restaurant, provide great service, offer great value to consumers,
Right.
and we get repeat business. So repeat business are very high today. We get customer returning to us like 3 to 4 times a month.
Okay.
Because we measure this, right? We
Right.
measure frequency of business. So, yeah, fantastic.
Now let's look at your expansion strategy. Now McDonald's is in a volume-driven game, so you open more stores, you get more customer traffic, and of course more sales. But is this strategy sustainable going forward? Do you see a lot of greenfield developments of new stores coming up?
McDonald's will be 35 years next year.
Right.
So 35 years in Malaysia. From humble beginning of one restaurant in Bukit Bintang to the latest one that we are here today in Putrajaya with 260 restaurants. Right? Out of 28 million Malaysian population,
Right.
we just use ratio and demand. We can have up to 400 to 500 restaurants over the next many years, increasing income, spending, consumer spending increasing in Malaysia. So there's still a lot of room for growth, not just for McDonald's, but for all other QSR players and food industry. And we love to continue to expand, create job opportunities, create business opportunities for local Malaysian contractors and suppliers. So in terms of expansion, we always expand. This year we plan to open 5 to 7 restaurants, and in the next 3 years we plan to open up to 30 restaurants.
Right.
So we're going to go back to expansion mode in the next few years after we're fixing the current asset.
When Steve Easterbrook joined McDonald's Corp as the CEO, right, he has made some
McDonald's.
changes to the company. So part of his strategy was to re-franchise the business in Asia. And how is it going so far for Malaysia and also Singapore? We heard that you are going to be franchising the business to new investors?
Mr. Brook has decided globally to increase the number of franchise restaurants by about 4,000 restaurants.
Yes.
So that will take our franchise business to about 90-95% globally. And this model is not new. Like I said, we were 80% franchise going to 95%. And there are many different models of franchising, individual restaurants or market-wide or country-wide. Country like Philippines has been franchised, we call DL, Developmental Licensee Program, since 15 years, 20 years ago. Thailand was 10 years ago. Indonesia was 5 years ago. So it's not new to McDonald's system. In fact, globally, more than 70 developmental licensees have been issued.
Right.
So part of that process, Malaysia is one of the countries identified. And the whole idea behind developmenting licensee or franchise McDonald's Malaysia is for growth. Yeah? As part of a global corporation, we fight for the capital with all the other big markets. And Malaysia, being a small country, we maybe last when it comes to capital allocation.
Right.
But in Malaysia, it's owned by business owner that can make local decision. And grabbing the opportunity that I mentioned, very big in Malaysia, all those will come from the new shareholders.
Right.
And based on return, Malaysia is providing great return. We can expand again and accelerate the expansion. So the idea behind that is to accelerate expansion. We're talking about concluding, looking forward to getting this done very soon. Right. We are in the various process now.
Right.
A few parties have been identified, and we're discussing the deal, and we will announce once we close the deal.
I see. In China, McDonald's has found a yummier, a partner. But what kind of partners are you looking for to manage the Malaysia and Singapore operations?
We're looking for business partners that are having the same values of McDonald's, focusing on consumers, focusing on customers, long-term investors that looking at long-term return to the business, investor that are willing to take a lot of risk in the business, because we're talking about product development, entail a lot of risk. Share our values in terms of sustainable and sourcing, halal production. So all those values that we have had all these years, we're looking for partners that can continue with that, and of course with sufficient capital to invest in the business.
Record sales and record stores, it seems nothing can stop McDonald's Malaysia's dominance in the country's fast food space. But with a new partner set to step in, it's unclear whether this hot streak will last.